Let's go! Alright, man. So I know it's been a minute. Okay. But now I'm trying to do something different. I want to share with you guys my passion acting. Now we're going to break down a little scene. We're going to break down a scene from the Silver Linings Playbook. Alright, this is a scene between Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, and Jennifer Lawrence won the Oscar, probably thanks to her whole performance, but a big part of that was this one scene. So let's check it out. Let me break it down for you guys, tell you what's working, what's not, and why I think Bradley Cooper could have done it better. Let's check it out, man.
Great. Tea. You're right.
You look nice.
Thanks. Raisin bran? Use some milk for me. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So one thing that he's doing really well is establishing precedent. So the way that he unpacks the raisin bran and puts it into the bowl, it looks like he's done it a million times. Now the actor Bradley Cooper has probably done so a million times to make it look that way. It looks natural. It looks like he's been coming here, sitting at that place for months now. Just it's routine. It's routine. He doesn't even think. He's thinking about other things. And we can see that thanks to the fact that he's looking down. Not he's just it's muscle memory. Bam, bam. It's fluid, it's going fast. He's not thinking. That's what helps us realize, hey, this is a routine of his. It's not the first time that he came to this place and ordered raisin bran. Let's check out the rest of it.
You want to share this?
Why did you order raisin bran?
Why did you order tea?
Because you ordered raisin bran.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so see, Jennifer Lawrence could have done one of two things. She could have waited until she ate to say, "Why did you order raisin bran?" Or just, mimic it, just like that. But she actively chose to respond with the raisin bran in her mouth. So that gives you a character, that gives you a personality. And the way that she's holding the spoon as well, like, what do you mean? That adds to that personality, that kind of sass. Right now, she's creating this. I mean, she's already created the character. The movie. This scene is maybe 30 minutes into the movie, but the thing is that this scene is so good thanks to her, thanks to the character that she created that is just reacting. She's just reacting to what Bradley Cooper is giving her. And what Bradley Cooper is showing us right now, in my opinion, is not Oscar worthy. That's why he didn't win an Oscar. He doesn't look like he's reacting. He looks like he's trying to set up the scene, like he knows what's going to happen. Now, an actor, when going into a scene, has to create a character that knows what happened before and that can kind of see what he'll do later, right? So she looks like she's thinking about all this. The character, I mean, Jennifer Lawrence's character is there sitting there thinking, "Ooh, this is awkward, man. Uh, maybe I shouldn't have come to this date. Maybe when he asked me before, I should have done something else." And that's her past. Now we can see all that, that kind of emotion clouding her eyes. We can see that through her look, through this kind of thing that she's doing with her eyes. Uh, and now she's thinking, maybe I'm just gonna leave. Now she's thinking about the future. So now she's created a character, a three-dimensional character, thinking about the past, the future. We have this whole image of her. Let's check out the rest.
I ordered raisin bran because I didn't want there to be any mistaking it for a date.
It can still be a date if you order raisin bran.
It's not a date.
Very nice.
So how's your thing going? Dancing thing?
That's good. How's your restraining order?
I wouldn't actually call the restraining order my thing, but getting back with Nikki is, and I think I'm doing pretty well. Except for a minor incident at the doctor's office.
And the so-called incident with the weights.
Yeah, that was the thing with my parents. I wish I could just explain it all in a letter to Nikki because it was minor, and I could just explain it and let her know that I'm actually not out of control.
All right, let's pause here for a second. There's something that Jennifer Lawrence is doing really, really well, but that Bradley Cooper isn't. Now, she's looking for his eyes. right? She's looking for the words that she's saying to hit him, to see his reaction, to react off of that. As an actor, you kind of do that without thinking about it actively, so it doesn't look like you're an actor trying to remain in character. Now she's trying to find his eyes, trying to get that emotion, trying to fill that up, right? So that's why we have this depth in her eyes, and she has really dark eyes, and it's hard to see emotion through very dark eyes in actors. But she's doing it very well. Okay, now and plus the movements that she's doing with her head, the looking down, looking up, it's all natural. It doesn't feel like she's trying. Now Bradley Cooper, I think this might come from thinking about directing. He's thinking about his eye line. He's thinking about the fact that the camera is filming him quite close. Now this is a close up shot, right? I mean, it's actually not close up, but it's pretty close for a middle distance shot, right? It's something like this, something like that. Boom. Now he's aware of that because he thinks like a director. So he's thinking, okay, I got to keep the eye line, and I got to go. You know, I got to give that text, I got to deliver it. But it seems too rehearsed to me, right? And Jennifer Lawrence is doing the exact opposite, and that's why there's this duality in the scene. Bradley Cooper's character isn't very bright. I think he does that quite well. But the thing is that it becomes, it's a little too much when he just decides to give you the delivery like he had already written it, you know? Like it's like for the character, it's so hard to say that he already had to have a plan about what he's gonna say, you know? He's just saying, before he said, I wouldn't call that my thing, but getting back with Nikki is, and yeah, I think that's going pretty well. He keeps that monotone, and he doesn't really vary it at all because he thinks that he doesn't have to. The character is strong enough, right? But that's the problem when actors think that something's coming across enough and they just let it be. It's very hard to make it believable because you can get comfortable, but you still have to be a little uncomfortable, right? You need that balance. Jennifer Lawrence is doing this quite well. She's created this character that's always like, maybe has some fireworks going on in her head, and she's like, bah, 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 bah. So she's thinking about a lot of different things, and that makes her character seem intelligent, but also very interesting to watch. Now, the fact that Bradley Cooper has a character who isn't very intelligent or who isn't very bright, and who might just have one train of thought at a time, that creates this linear, kind of almost boring character. And the fact that he's aware of that, in my opinion, he is aware of that, makes his acting seem still not nuanced. There's no different layers. There's just the one layer, and there's no real feeling to it, in my opinion. That's I did this scene myself 2 months ago, and I changed the whole musicality of the scene just because it wasn't working for me. I tried it like this. I tried it playing the guy who has this one train of thought, because his goal in this scene is to get Jennifer Lawrence's character to write a letter to his ex-girlfriend. Okay, that's the goal in the scene. He has that goal in mind, and he's trying to get there. And since he's not very bright, he's quite direct. He's not very good at transitions. That's a possible reason for why the character seems a little boring, if you will. But honestly, I don't know why Bradley Cooper decided to keep him like that. That makes the character quite boring to me. And to the viewers, I would assume to all viewers, it's not very interesting.
And that I'm doing really well.
Eye contact, looking for his reaction. He's doing the same.
I can get a letter to Nikki. I see her sometimes with my sister.
Different train of thought. Trying to analyze what he's thinking. Yeah. Sorry to stop there. It's going to be a quick stop. Thing is, you can see that she's like, what is he trying to do? She's trying to understand him. Bradley Cooper's character is looking into her eyes. Does she get what I mean? What is she thinking? What is she thinking? That's all he's thinking about. That's now I'm not sure if it's just the character or if it's Bradley Cooper sometimes, if it's because actors sometimes can fall out of character. Now I'm not saying that he's out of character, but I'm saying that he's maybe bringing in too much Bradley Cooper. Too much of his iconic kind of long stares. Yeah? Yeah? Really? Too much of that maybe. Too much of his own self in the character. But Jennifer Lawrence is a completely different person. Now she's quite somber. She's a little skeptical of what he's trying to do. You can see all this through their eyes.
It would be so amazing if you could get a letter to Nikki from me.
I'd have to hide it from Veronica. She's not into breaking the law, which this letter would definitely be doing.
But you would do it.
Now the thing is, Bradley Cooper took a different tone now because of Jennifer Lawrence. She's taken control of the scene by lowering her rate of speech, right? Because now it's important. Definitely be doing. She's playing along. She's creating this little game. Now the character is actually playing a character. That's so interesting to watch. It's fun to watch. She's crazy. And I mean that in the sense of her character in the movie is quite mentally unstable. And the fact that her character, Jennifer Lawrence's character, is now playing a character makes her even more unstable, even more, you want to watch her. You don't know what she's going to do. She's coming in close going, this would definitely be breaking the law. And she's playing a little bit with him, toying with him. And now Bradley Cooper, you can see the sincerity through his eyes. Just like, you would do it. He's really in it. He thinks that she's not kidding, that she's really going to do it. And maybe she is, maybe she isn't. That's the mystery about Jennifer Lawrence's character that she's created. Bradley Cooper's character is kind of one-dimensional right now. And I'm trying to see some layers. I see what he's doing. I think it could have been more interesting. Now that may be an error on the director's part, maybe a lack of vision for this scene, or maybe confusing advice. Sometimes directors try to give advice to actors and the actor just can't take it in. The actor just can't internalize it and understand it for himself, and that makes a confused person. A director will sometimes do this on purpose. Stanley Kubrick, who directed The Shining and A Clockwork Orange, usually manipulates his actors into their roles. And it's unconscious to them, but he's doing it. He's really doing it. For example, he might, for Bradley Cooper, what I would do if I was Stanley Kubrick, I'd come up to him and I'd tell him, it's shit. Now what that would do is make Bradley Cooper, think, no, maybe this is a really bad performance. It would make him unstable and a little bit giddy. And that would seep into the character, and that would give you this three-dimensional real-life character, with insecurities and things like this. To me, right now, he's a little too sure of himself. He looks like he just got off the makeup chair, took a quick look in the mirror. Okay, everything's fine, and I'm gonna go deliver myself for this scene. But that's not how it is in real life. In real life, you don't know. Oh, maybe you have something in your nose. Oh, maybe you have something between your teeth. And he just doesn't seem to have all that going on.
I'd have to be careful. I'm already on thin ice with my family. You should hear how I lost my job.
How'd you lose your job?
Having sex with everybody in the office.
Her blinking was intentional. She blinked once by having sex. Basically what she did there is convey that she's hesitant to say it, but open to. She didn't do anything too big. It's very minor, and that's why she won the Oscar, guys. It's in the subtleties, okay? It's in the little things that you don't see consciously, but that make the character so believable. She's tilted right now, right? She's looking into his eyes. She's kind of hypnotized. Because Bradley Cooper's like this. Don't forget about that. That does something to you. Now her character is taking that in. She's like, wow, this guy's really intense. Can I tell him? But she doesn't want to break eye contact. Because we all have that competition in us. So that's how real her character is, guys. That's how real it is. She's looking at Bradley Cooper thinking, oh, I don't want to lose this stare off. But he wants to know this. Should I tell him? I will. That blink was really intentional, really well placed. and not even forced.
Everybody?
I was very depressed after Tommy died. It was a lot of people.
Immediately defending herself, and you can see that.
We don't have to talk about it.
Thanks.
How many were there?
11.
Wow.
I know.
Comedic timing. See that? The timing changed because now it's in comedy. How many were there? 11. Wow, I know. It's going really fast. Now that's good because now Bradley Cooper is kind of getting into the things that he's really good at. I see his comedy side coming through in those kind of looks. We don't have to talk about it. How many were there? It's very fast. It's very subtle. It's what he's good at. But now he's in his comfort zone. So I must say I've seen better performances from Bradley Cooper. He is very good at comedy. Usually people who are very good at comedy are very good at everything. Comedy is the hardest part of acting. However, he seems like it's his only comfort zone, and that he's kind of struggling with the rest of it. And I can see that throughout this whole scene that he's struggling. Now he's in his comfort zone. Now that it's comedic. So to me, it feels a little bit like I'm watching Bradley Cooper struggle with the character, and I just can't watch the scene and enjoy it. But Jennifer Lawrence right now has taken on a comedic timing and a comedic tone, but it's completely natural. She's responding to questions quick. We all do that in real life. And sometimes we're aware of that comedic timing and we do it consciously. So it doesn't seem like an actor trying to be funny to me when she does it.
I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
Can I ask you one more question? Were there any women?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What was that like?
Hot.
Jesus Christ. Was it like older women, a sexy teacher, the ones
Seduction?
to seduce you?
Made me sit on her lap and do things. Yeah.
Seduction? Yeah. Now you can see that she's playing with him. She's aware that she's turning him on and wants to see how far she can go. Now that's all the character. But the thing is that Jennifer Lawrence is probably somewhere in there taking pleasure in this whole thing. Right? Because you have to have that balance. She's playing the character, but of course, her body, her movements, all that is Jennifer Lawrence. Now, how much of taking pleasure in seeing him being turned on is Jennifer Lawrence or her character, we don't know. But that duality is very, very interesting. And the way that right now she's using her eyes and no movements at all to convey, oh, I get it. I'm turning him on right now. That's the genius in this scene. That's the genius in how she's playing the character. In her intelligence. She's playing on her character's intelligence. All right, and we can see that. Now Bradley Cooper decides to break the tension with a giant movement. That's very good on his part because we all do that in real life. If someone makes you very uncomfortable, you usually try to break the tension by either, oh, okay, yeah, big movements trying to change the subject or changing the subject verbally.
Mm-hmm.
She told you what to do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Nikki hated when I talk like this. You feel like such a pervert. Maybe we should change the subject.
I don't mind it.
You don't, do you?
No. But then people were getting in fights in the parking lot at work and in the bathroom. And the boss called me into his office and tried to pin it all on me. So I accused him of harassment. And then they fired me, sent me home, and put me on some meds.
I get it. The song that was playing with my wife was in the shower with the history teacher.
I heard about that.
This is my wedding song.
Nice
When I
interruption.
hear it, I go kind of crazy. Sometimes I hear it when it's not even playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they put me on medication, which I feel ashamed of.
Yeah.
So I know.
Mm-hmm.
I just gotta get a strategy,
Me too.
Now he's in the character. I can see the nuances. This is interesting. And it's only now. Okay, we're like, what, 5 minutes into the scene, and it's only now that I'm seeing a personality form. That means that he's what do you call that? An actor who takes time to get into a role. That's a problem sometimes, and here, in my opinion, it's a big issue. It's a big issue because he's in front of a dynamo, an absolute machine of an actor, Jennifer Lawrence, who's getting him into this role, and he's getting into there. Now, my suggestion, if you're an actor like this, or two actors like this, just that need time to get into a character, improvise. Get into the character before the scene starts, improvise with your partner in the character. Then there won't be this whole thing of trying to get into the character during the scene. Because when critical viewers watch this, like me or like any critics, they'll see that you're getting into the character during the scene, and that totally brings you out of the movie.
We better get back to the letter.
Yeah, let's get back to the letter.
What if you told Nikki when Veronica was in the bathroom?
Yes. Yes, that could work. I love that.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go home and write the letter right now.
What, can I at least finish my tea?
Wait, what?
My tea. Can I finish it?
Wait a minute. Did Veronica tell Nikki about our dinner?
Yeah, the wait a minute was very awkward. It was very awkward. I'm not sure how he could have fixed it, but the what? Wait a minute. I think he should have done that in one kind of arrow. You know, maybe he could have gotten up, said, wait a minute. You know, something like that. Wait a minute. Because the what? Wait a minute seemed too forced to me. It seemed too forced, and that creates the whole tension in his face. Because when you say what? Wait a minute, it's gonna create that tension, that Keanu Reeves tension, right? And that looks like it's fake. I don't buy it. That isn't really acting. Acting is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. And this does not seem truthful. The face he has right now seems theatrical to me. And this is film. You can't mix the two. You can't mix a theatrical performance in film unless it's necessary. Samuel L. Jackson is one of the only actors who can perfectly incorporate theatrical acting into film.
Why would she do that? Was it a test?
Too much.
I kind of got that feeling, yeah.
God damn it. I knew it.
See, Jennifer Lawrence, I think that this is unconscious, but she's trying to bring down a peg. She's lowering her volume. You know, when friends talk loud and you're in a group, and you want to bring down the volume, you don't talk louder. You talk like this, right? You say, hey, yeah. You bring down the volume so that the person comes down. What she's doing is that probably Jennifer Lawrence herself, not the character, saw that he was going too high, too much, too big, too grand, and is trying to bring him back down to reality, unconsciously or consciously. But it's good what she's doing. This is really an example of an actor helping out another actor.
It was a test. How did I do? I think I did pretty well.
Yeah, she said you were cool, basically.
Basically. Was I some percentage not cool?
No, she said you were cool, but,
No, I don't know.
sort of how you are. It's fine, relax.
What do you mean? How am I? What's that?
Sort of like me.
Sort of like you? I hope to God she didn't tell Nikki that.
Why?
Because it's just not right lumping you and I together. It's just wrong, and Nikki wouldn't like that. Especially after all the shit you just told me.
You think that I'm crazier than you.
Because we're different,
See, now the character that he's created in that second half of the scene is really coming through. This is some interesting acting. This is something that you can look at and analyze. You know, the little things he does, that portrays immaturity. His character is immature. And that's something I only noticed right now at the end of this scene. That's an issue. That's a real issue. it would have been different if he was trying to be someone else at the beginning of the scene. If he was trying to sell himself as something else, but he's not. That's not the story of the scene. He is authentic. However, the acting isn't authentic. The character should be, though. So that's an issue on Bradley Cooper's part, maybe on the director's part, or maybe the director even gave him too many technical aspects to focus on. Maybe the director told him, okay, I want you to go back on that third line, and now he's concentrating too much on the technical aspect of his acting, and that's taking away so much from his authenticity. But now he's kind of starting to get into it. I wonder why. Maybe this is one of the first scenes that they shot of the movie, and that Bradley Cooper was still finding the character. That's a possibility. But I shouldn't be seeing that. I should be seeing someone like Jennifer Lawrence, who's totally in the character, doing things that only the character would do, and making me believe it. You know, the little things that she does, the eye rolls, that is so much. That's so grand. But she's selling it perfectly because it goes well with the character. Plus, she doesn't do a lot of grand gestures during the scene. So when she does do them, it really speaks volumes. Like right now, that face that she's pulling, it's grand, but I buy it completely.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, you're killing me. You know what? Forget I offered to help you. Forget the entire fucking idea. Because that must have been fucking crazy. Because I am so much crazier than
Nice.
Put your voice down.
I'm just the crazy slut with a dead husband. Forget it!
Shut the fuck up.
Nice.
You shut
Tiffany.
the fuck up.
Hey, Tiffany.
Very nice. End of the scene. Now the thing is, that was on point. That was a very nice, finely tuned performance. Because she completely changes from the beginning of the scene to the end of the scene, right? And you see that happening. And you see this kind of bipolar thing happening to her at the end of the scene when she goes like, oh, that must have been so crazy because I am so much crazier than you. And she's getting herself staggered up. She's going faster and faster and faster until she explodes. Now, she doesn't explode fully. That's what's interesting about it. The thing is, as an actor, right, you don't want to go all out in scenes like this, right? Because what's probably in the script is she explodes with rage, screams this. If Jennifer Lawrence had done that, that would have been way too theatrical. What she's trying to do is to feel this rage inside, to let it out, but then to grab it back as soon as it comes out. And that's what gives you her tension in her fingers, things like that, because she's still trying to hold on to it. That's so interesting to watch. That is so interesting to watch. And that's what we all have to strive for as actors. Just getting to that level, right, of realness. She doesn't want to show all her emotions. But at the same time, she doesn't care what others think. We're all hypocrites in that way. We want to be real, show emotions, fall in love for real, but we don't want to show our emotions too much with anyone. And you can see that happening in her character. Alright guys, I think I'm going to leave it there for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. Drop down in the comments what else you want me to analyze. I have a list of Oscar-winning movies and Oscar-winning scenes that I'd love to analyze for you guys. But yeah, tell me if this is interesting to you. Like the video if this is something that you want more of. And you know what? I'll see you soon, man. Peace!